Let's head into the papers now, see what we have across papers. There's certainly very divergent headlines this morning. But I have in the studio social commentator, Smart Akwejoye, joining me here. We also have a public affairs analyst and chartered accountant, Sheson Okwade. Gentlemen, good morning.
Morning.
Nice to see you.
Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday, exactly. Fridays are very exciting days, I must say. All right, let's start with the Blueprint. Blueprint newspaper. No secret graveyards in Northeast. Defense headquarters is reiterating this. Article 6 seeks probe. An army deploys 4 mine-resistant vehicles made in Nigeria. And that has really brought a lot of accolades to the army from Nigerians, seeing some of the deployed mine-resistant vehicles. And the controversy on the graveyard is still going on. Certainly the defense headquarters has come to clear the air on that. Moving from Blueprint, let's go to Daily Trust now. Banditry, 10 governors, IGP meet, adopt new measures, and district head family released in Zamfara. Okay, that's what you see on the front page of the Daily Trust. Let's move now to the Nigerian News Direct. News Direct is where we go next. FDI would not be robust until new petroleum laws. The new GMD, Kerry, is saying this as NNPC NGE partner to push for petroleum legislation. You find all that on the front page of the News Direct. Let's go to the Vanguard newspaper now. Drones, CCTVs. Afenifere Agbakoya disagree with federal government and ONI. Drones, CCTVs have limitations. Agbakoya is saying this. We'll see how effective they are, YCE. So the group is saying this. And Nigeria fast losing reputation. NIPR raises alarm. And certainly that alarm is one alarm a lot of Nigerians are raising as well. Moving from there, let's go to The Nation. The Nation newspaper says, Buhari raises committee on ministers' portfolios. Wow. Buhari raises committee on ministers' portfolios, focus on 29 new cabinet members, 14 likely to retain their former seats. You find that on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Okay, I guess we'll talk about this shortly. Now, the Daily Sun is where we go next now. Aftermath of proscription, Shiites, no retreat. As Zakzaki's daughter explodes, says group will continue protest. That's what you see on the front page of the Daily Sun. Okay. All right, gentlemen, if this story on the front page of the Nation is anything to go by, then I wonder how Nigerians are going to take this, because it says Buhari raises committee on minister's portfolio. One expects that the president already knows who to become what and all of that. So I wonder how this comes to you. If this headline is what is anything to go by. Sheson, let me start with you.
Mike, personally, I don't want to believe that news.
Okay.
You know, some of the journalism we have now is quite funny. Maybe the paper decides to just make little money out of this information, because if it is true, then there is problem in the land, to be candid. If the president has to set up committee after the screening, you know, our first agitation is about attaching portfolio before you even send to the legislature. Now the legislative have cleared those guys, and now we are setting up committee. That means we are just creating activity for people to waste our money. These are the wastages we are talking about. The committee will sit, there will be committee allowance and all other money. I'm very sure, personally, that this news, it's not correct. Because you know what we heard after declaring on Wednesday, that they confirmed those guys, that before the end of this week, we should have the portfolios and the ministers start of the work. So, but we've not heard it, and the day is not over yet. But if he's just setting up committee now to do this, Mike, personally, I don't want to believe it.
Okay, but certainly the newspaper is a credible newspaper, and
I'm not disputing that fact.
They have their sources. That's why I said
they might be quoted out of context.
Oh, okay.
You know that's the language.
All right, but certainly it's the headline this morning. So, Smart, how does this come to you?
I want to believe the president was quoted out of context.
Okay.
Because, honestly, and also when looking at it, when the president said is under pressure to pick his ministers, and that he's only going to pick those that he knows. So I want to believe that statement is under that the president must have been quoted out of context.
Okay.
But having said this, let's go by the word. If really that is true, it's unfortunate for this country. Even me not being in the government, I know some ministers that should retain their portfolio. I could say the ministry of where Fashola oversee should have been splitted, give works and housing to Aregbesola, and give power to Fashola.
Why Aregbesola?
No, because Aregbesola has had an antecedent from Lagos where he did well. He did well as a commissioner for works and infrastructure, I think, in Lagos for 8 years. He did well, and it was a reference point. Fashola did well, despite the fact that his hands were tight because of the agreement reached with the discos. At least you can always see him disagreeing with those people.
And when it comes to doing well, perceptively, somebody like former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Akpabio, also did well in constructions. If you go to Akwa Ibom, you see lots of...
You see, as I said this sometime, I said as far as I'm concerned, even though I'm not in support of all these governors coming back, but however, to go by Akpabio's antecedents, I was in Akwa Ibom before he became the governor. Okay. And after he became governor, during the course of his administration, I had cause to visit Akwa Ibom. Akpabio transformed Akwa Ibom sincerely. So we could look for a portfolio that fits infrastructural development and put him there. All right. But as far as I'm concerned, at this time, Mr. President should not be saying he's setting up a committee to know where to put his ministers. All right. I don't want to really believe that.
It's okay.
Mike, if they don't have anything, they should make Smart and Night be part of it. We'll fight to Abuja to do that.
And you take the decision for them?
We'll take the decision for the president at no cost.
All right, thank you. Well, that's the headline. So we'll discuss it as a headline this morning.
No problem.
Buhari raises committee on minister's portfolio. Okay, like you said, maybe the president was quoted out of context, but whatever it is, it's a headline this morning. So, Sheso Okunade, thank you very much for coming on the program. Smart Akwejoye, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Right.
Also with me, I have social commentator, Smart Akwejoye, and public affairs analyst, a chartered accountant as well, Sheson Okwade. Good morning to you both. Thank you very much for joining us again
this Friday
on the show. Right, and happy Friday, absolutely. All right, so I begin with Blueprint. Blueprint is leading with the Department of the Defense Headquarters saying no secret graveyards in Northeast, but Atiku seeks a probe to that report, and the army is quoted to have deployed 4 mine-resistant vehicles. Mind you, these vehicles are set to be made in Nigeria. All right, that's Blueprint. For Daily Trust, the big story there is banditry, 10 governors, IGP meets, adopt new measures, district head family released in Zamfara State. Let's check out Weekend News Direct now. FDI wouldn't be robust until new petroleum laws. That's from Mele Kyari as NNPC NGE partner to push for petroleum legislation. All right, Weekend News Direct there leading with oil matters. But Vanguard is leading with the developing story on the drone CCTV issue. Now, Afenifere Agbekoya disagree with FG and Oni. Drones and the cameras have limitations. That's according to Agbekoya. We'll see how effective they are, the Yoruba Council of Elders are saying. Nigeria fast losing reputation. NIPR raises alarm. For the nation now, President Buhari raises committee on ministers' portfolios focused on 29 new cabinet ministers and 14 likely to retain their former seats. And that's the nation. And finally, at this time now is Daily Sun. Aftermath of proscription, Shiites, no retreat. El Zakzaki's daughter explodes, says group will continue protest. All right, that's that for taking a look at what the papers have to say. But then let's delve on the drones and CCTV camera issue. Gentlemen, Chesson, yes, the question has been asked, how effective will they be in curbing crime? What's your take?
Yeah, it will work effectively. These are done in the developed countries, in the developed world. Majority of the areas where we need to put good surveillance, those things will work. You see, it's quite pathetic that we are behind what people has actually gone beyond. This CCTV issue that we are celebrating, I know during the tenure of the former president, this was a big thing that we thought by now would have been very effective. But the thing came and he died a natural death. That we are resuscitated it. It's quite pathetic that so many of the crimes that we are saying, this thing will make it work. All you need is, like the Afenifere and Abeka, what you need is dedicated people to actually monitor how things goes on. But this CCTV will be able to tell you, this is when this happened, this is how it happened, you have a playback, and all sorts of things like that. It should be used in every, not only on security matters. It's quite pathetic that people will bring in things even into our ports. And you discover that things, there are thefts. But where you have CCTV, if you put CCTV in your house, I'm sure you have an housemaid, she'll be very careful because she knows that there will always be a playback. Some of the things we see on the social media these days are a result of people playing back what they recorded on the CCTV. So for government doing this, I feel it's late. These are done in developed countries.
I need to get your reactions now. Does the criminal have to know that these things are in place? And again, it's also been asked now, how will the CCTV cameras, nab the culprit in the act?
Well, in the first place, drone is an advanced form of technology to monitor a particular area. If the Agbekoyas are saying no to that, I don't know, perhaps they need to be informed. I'll quickly give you a scenario at Oshodi. The military, the RRS, has this van, which has a CCTV camera that monitors the crowd. They never knew that such a thing exists in the touts, and those criminals never knew such a thing exists. The moment they see it, they can monitor it from it's like an OB van. They monitor it from that vehicle. And the next, you just say, this guy don't pick post, so yeah, they go. They will start talking to themselves, and they will just go and pick him out. They picked 3 guys, and the guys were wondering how they picked them. They were trying to say, don't say anything. You gave it to social person.
Yeah.
So they were able to trace these guys and pick them off. So it will help. It's just that, you see, it's because at any time the government is introducing a measure, they never carry the people along. And because of that, because there is no information, there will be mistrust and there will be misconception. As far as I'm concerned, it's a welcome idea. If the government are going to use drone, if they're going to use CCTV, it is very, very welcome. But beyond that, we must also be saying, if we want to combat security issue effectively, we must go back to community policing. And
we've seen the president, saying as much, based by the feedback the Oni of Ife shared out after the meeting yesterday, which prompted all these announcements that we are hearing now, that, there just might be, this might just be the recipe we need, the ingredients we need now to curb crime, talking about community policing.
Yeah, we've said it over time, that you can't know an environment more than the people that stayed in that vicinity. the way and manner we handle the security issue of bringing somebody from the north to come and police areas in the southwest, you don't even have the understanding of it. But here, you are picking people. It's like you are securing yourself. And if you can't secure yourself, it becomes a problem. So community policing is the best option to it. You go to the nitty-gritty, this idea of strange people coming into the bush around you. You know the bush before it became a bush. So if people wants to trail, you can trail easily. Where we don't have the CCTV to cover up to, community policing will solve the problem. But we need this CCTV and drone. Look at Rwanda. We've had even countries around us that have gone beyond what we're about to start. By now, we should have it in strategic places so that we can nip things by the bud and people will be secured.
All right, Sheson
I think,
Kwade
and again, we are
Smart
going-
Akwejoye. I'm afraid that's all we have time for. We thank you both for your apt analysis on the program.
Let's head to the papers now, see what the headlines are. I have with me in the studio Sheson Okwade as well as Smart Akwejoye. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning,
Nice
and
to see
thank you for having us.
Right. Let's begin with Blueprint now. No secret graveyards in Northeast. Defense headquarters is saying this, making clarifications. Atiku seeks a probe into that. An army deploys 4 mine-resistant vehicles, and that's what you see on the front page of the Blueprint. Daily Trust has this on banditry. 10 governors, IGP, meet, adopt new measures. A district head, family released in Zamfara. You find that on the front page of the Daily Trust. Security issues and security issues. News Direct is where we go next now. FDI would not be robust until new petroleum laws. That's the new GMD Mele Carey is saying this as NNPC NGE partnered to push for petroleum legislation. You find that on the front page of the the News Direct. Vanguard is next. Vanguard says drones and CCTVs. Afenifere Agbakoya disagree with federal government and ONI. Drones and CCTVs have limitations. Agbakoya is saying this. We'll see how effective they are. YCE is saying this. And Nigeria fast losing reputation. NIPR raises alarm. Okay, that's what you see on the front page of the Vanguard. Let's go to The Nation now. The Nation says Buhari raises committee on ministers' portfolios. Focus on 29 new cabinet members and 14 likely to retain their former seats. Still on ministerial nominees and odd ministerial designates. Okay, that's what you see on the front page of The Nation newspaper. Let's go to the Daily Sun now. Aftermath of proscription. Shiites, no retreat. El Zakzaki's daughter explodes and says group will continue protests. Okay, that's what you see on the front page of the Daily Sun. And gentlemen, I'd like us to start actually and stay with the story now. We have seen the back and forth of the Shiites protests here and there and the reaction of Nigerians. And then the latest is the proscription of the group by the federal government, which they obtained from a court. But they say they are appealing that and seeing how it's going to play out. But when there is the daughter of Zakzaki is coming to say, well, you know what, we're going to hit the streets. What do you see? Smart, let me start with you.
First, it's unfortunate that the Nigerian government have allowed this issue of the Shiites to linger up till now. And seriously, every day, if I pray, I'm praying that El Zakizaki does not die in the custody of the Nigerian government. Because if that guy should die in the custody of the Nigerian government, we are likely to have another Boko Haram from that. And you see, it will be too many issues for the government to handle. You see, I always believe in the stick and carrot approach, which the government would have introduced in this. Yes, Zakizaki has 2 cases that he's facing, the Kaduna one and the federal government one. One of the courts have asked the government to release him, and the other court is still holding him. Seriously, they would have looked for a better way to resolve this and let that guy be in the hand of his people. You see, it's just that sometimes we don't do enough intelligence gathering enough. These guys could be in the hands of in his house, and if the government wants to tame him, they will tame him.
But maybe it's also possible that the government knows something that Nigerians all don't know. So maybe from that window, it's possible the government is acting on what on something.
I don't
Because
want to.
one thing there is that it is the government who has all the information in the land.
Yes, but honestly,
If they have the information, Mike, let them share it with us. This lady is saying,
Some information are of national security that can't be shared on the pages of
but there
newspaper.
are ways that you can let us just have a clips of what actually is going on.
Yeah, but
the
of
fact
what
remains that
benefit if Nigerians get to know all of those things? If it's going to jeopardize how to
no, we are
keep
not
the
saying
peace.
that they should reveal the whole secret to us. Right. But let's know the major reason why you are still holding him back, acting against the prescription of the law. The lady is speaking now. Before you know it, other people will hijack it. And you know, there is no protest without losing of life. Whether even the peaceful one that people will just gather together to do, definitely some miscreant will hijack it. You cannot monitor all those things. Some people are just looking for avenue. And my concern every day is that do we really care for, do we value the lives of the people that will lead? If this lady is coming out to tell us that no retreat, we are not going back, the stuff continues, I can assure you, innocent people that are just passing by will still lose their life.
Yeah,
we should value life. And whatever it is that the government has against this man, even if it is a national security issue, have a way. That's why I will go on the path of smart intelligence. Intelligence gathering, you can still throw it. We said it the other time, these guys will gather together and form like 3,000 people to plan protest. And it will not be to the information of the federal government. Until when they come out, that's when we start attacking. It shouldn't be. The way some of this thing route is that you have a way of infiltrating. The same way they said then that Boko Haram already infiltrated into our military, we should have a way of infiltrating into them too. So that's the way intelligence moves. You should have somebody who will definitely give you up-to-date information about them.
All right, Smart, before we go on this now, the issues are still on. The prescription until it's upturned, if it is going to be upturned, until the court decides otherwise, since they are appealing, stands for now. So how insensitive would it be if they hit the streets and the likely consequences from that?
you see, I just wish some people could talk to them. For now, let them, because what the Boko Haram, what this Shiite group keeps saying is that all this shooting, attacking, that they have the fifth columnists have infiltrated them. And since they are saying, look, all these things, that all this destruction, they are not from our members. I think for now, these guys should retreat and let them wait and follow the due process. Not following the due process again is fueling the crisis the more. All they could do for now is that, yes, they could go on social media, they could be having press conference. There are better ways and sensitize the entire world, not necessarily by eating the public, by eating the streets every day, because every day these people keep dying. Even a little, I saw the last time they were burying almost about 9, even though the government said it is this, they said they gave a higher number. They cannot continue to lose their members. Right. So it's the members you are trying even to protect, don't keep losing them. Right. Protect them. So I think they should go other better ways of sensitizing.
Rather than going on
all Nigerians pray for peace and pray for amicable resolution of this issue. Thank you very much, Smart Akpejoye.
Thank you
for coming, and Sheson Kwade, thank you very much.
Thank you.